So today we're going to use a pair of compasses, or sometimes just referred to as a compass set or compass. So this device right here, the whole thing is called the compass, or the pair, right? So each line of it or each arm of it would be a compass, so it's a pair of compasses, right? So notice one has a nice little pivot point on the bottom, okay? So right here, this is your pivot point. And then you have where you can put your drawing utensil. So typically just a pencil. This is our arc right here. So this is going to give us our separation, which we can also say separation or radius sometimes. Okay, just give you a little bit of lingo about our device first. So, but it's great and dandy what everything is, but how do we use it? Well, we're going to use it as such. So anytime we're going to have it, I'm just going to change the color now. So we want to draw an arc of 3 centimeters, okay? So how are we actually going to do that? Well, I told you that an arc is that center point, right? So it's going to be the distance from our pivot to our pencil tip. So how do we do this? Well, we're going to do this with our ruler. So grab your ruler now and place it on your page, okay? So I'm just going to pull this ruler down. So I'm just going to keep using it, okay? So notice, have it the right way around. So we're going to first put our tip at 3. I have it opposite, so I put it at the 3 mark instead of the 0. And then I'm going to just change my separation. So you're just going to play around until you get to roughly 0. So you should be at 0. You should be able to do it a lot better than I can. But now that we have it at 3 centimeters, always, always, always make a little dot on your page about where we're actually going to put our pivot point, because you might end up using it in the future. So here, notice that my point is on there. Then all you're going to do is place the pencil part on your page, put a little pressure, keep in mind not to change the separation. When it says an arc, we just hold our pen down and draw a little arc. Because an arc is just part of a circle, right? So we can tell that, hey, we have part of a circle there. If we kept going, we'd have a full circle. So easy, simple. You can actually afterwards, you could even say, hey, we know that from this center point, and that was a good reason of putting our center point anywhere to out here, use a straight line, not like I just tried to. We can say that this point is indeed 4 centimeters, or 3 centimeters, sorry, my mistake. 3 centimeters. So next one, we want to draw a radius of 4 centimeters. So let's take our compass back to our ruler. This time I'm going to put the pivot point there. And we're going to extend it out. Actually, we'll do something else right now. We'll switch it to the other side. So this time I'll put it at 0, the pivot. And I'm going to extend the drawing utensil out. Right. So notice I can't really get exactly 4 with mine. So just do your best. Okay, so we've got it. I'm going to do this in blue because it's going to overlap our other one a little bit just because of our restrictions of space. So here we want to draw a circle with radius 4. So this means, and one thing I told you to do that I failed to do right here was put a little dot underneath where your center is. So back to task, we're just going to put our pencil on the page and we're just going to take our compass and we're going to draw all the way around. So you can do it back and forth if you miss a little gap. Typically, you got to apply some pressure, but not too much to extend it outwards to change our radius, as it were. So last thing we can do, now we can take a line and we can take it from our center to anywhere, and we can label our radius as simply our 4 centimeters. Okay, so Well, now it's asking us something a little bit different. It wants us to draw a semicircle with diameter 9 centimeters. Okay, so, well, first thing we want to do is draw a diameter of 9 centimeters. So I'm going to take a ruler out, draw myself a line over to 9, and now we want a semicircle, right? So a semicircle is half that. Well, if we want half that's going to be 4.5, so we need to draw 4.5 as a radius for our compass. Okay, so we have a radius that is 4.5, and we have our line drawn, so I'm just going to put my pencil tip on one point of the line. You really did not have to do this. You could have started off by just finding that it was 4.5, drawing a line, or drawing an arc over it, I should say, and kind of going a little bit below, a little bit above, right? And then saying, kind of going like this, and then afterwards coming back with your eraser, and you could even erase the other parts that aren't actually part of the line we want, or you could just draw it really accurate the first time, just as I'm going to do here. So you can just take it and kind of draw over. If you feel like it's getting awkward there, well, take it, put it back, switch your pencil over, right? Take it back to its start point, and then you can continue and join it up on the other side. Sometimes it's just less awkward than trying to do big circles or semicircles. So, as always, take our line from our center point, and we would just want to give it a little bit of a label of 4.5, or you can go ahead and label your diameter across the bottom as 9 centimeters. It's not going to help you. It's not going to hurt by labeling too much. Okay. And last example we're going to do. Sorry. So like I said, last example we're going to do is this: mark 2 points roughly 4 centimeters apart. Draw a 4 centimeter circle around each point, and then shade the overlap. So I'm just going to take a new page and we'll do this here. Okay, so we want roughly 5 centimeters apart. So remember, that's just roughly. So that's why I put it down as roughly, because as long as you're around it, right, we're just close. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our compass, get our compass out, and we wanted it, I believe it was 4 centimeters apart, right? When in doubt, always go back to the question. Makes more sense. Draw a circle 4 centimeters around 4 centimeters around each point. Well, notice I didn't actually draw points, did I? I actually drew a line. Well, I know that I have 2 endpoints here, correct? That's going to be this point in blue and that point in blue. So, those are the points I'm drawing the circle around. I drew myself a line just because it was kind of easier, because why not just draw a line? As long as you indicate yourself what you're doing afterwards, which I did. So notice I'm at 4 centimeters. I'm going to get rid of my ruler now, and I'm going to draw myself my 2 circles centered around that point. Except I'm just going to move my line a little bit more centered. So here, put our pivot point there, and at this step, we're just going to take it and we'll draw 1 circle there. Okay. Now I'm just gonna, don't have to do this. I'm just changing the color of my pen just to see the difference, so we can easily tell which circle belongs to which, and draw my other circle. Okay. So notice that we want to shade the overlap. So just take your pen and roughly shade. Well, this is where our overlap, right? So just about using a pair of compasses right now. What we actually did by drawing these 2 circles around a point is actually what we're going to do for most of this chapter, but we have to learn what the questions are actually asking of us so we know how to accurately or when to use a certain procedure for constructions. Because they're actually not that hard. There's only a couple cases we're going to look at to start with, and yeah, if you could do what we just did here for this last example, you've pretty much done a lot of the unit actually already. So here's some little practice. So pause your video at this time. Once you're ready, you may press play. Right. So here we're gonna start off. We want a radius of 3.5. So went ahead and just measured my 3.5. Got it as my here. So we want an arc to begin with. So we're done an arc because an arc doesn't matter. Right. Do not change your separation because we're doing the exact same for each. So now we want a circle. Right. So if we want a circle, indicate your center point because I forgot to. And then we want a semicircle. Right. So I'm gonna just approximate most of my semicircle I can, right? So that's basically what a semicircle would be. And then at this point, we can just draw our straight line through it. Keep in mind, what did I forget? Oh, I forgot to put my little center point. I like, uh, uh, unlike you, have the technology where I can do it afterwards. So I am going to take my line right now and connect my point there right through, and therefore I have constructed my semicircle. So that's why you want to always indicate your pivot point. You might need it after. And if you don't mark it, you can sometimes have to do the entire question again. So now we want to draw 3 circles of varying sizes and then use a compass and a ruler to measure and determine the radii. Whew, sounds like a lot. So here, what we're going to do, well, first step, just 3 different circles, right? I'm just going to draw myself more manageable, smaller circles this time. So it doesn't really matter where they go on the page, as long as there's 3. Typically, at this point in constructions, you're going to find yourself with a lot of little parts. And some of you may be thinking, well, wait a sec, how are you going to do this? You didn't mark your centers. So I'm actually going to go back now and mark all my centers because, like I said, if you don't, you have to start again, starting at the beginning. So I'm going to take it back actually all the way to the beginning because it's not fair that I use the power of technology to give a little cheat. So let's do this now. So easiest way, let's just make 3 dots to begin with. Dot, dot, dot. Or even, actually. Let's do 1 circle in green. And I'm just going to actually change the separation distance on my device and draw it in the same spot. There's a blue one. And let's make it a little smaller for a 3rd circle. Kind of looks like a target. So here, if you want to accurately measure them, well, what's the best way? So it says using a compass, right? So if you had your compass out and you had to accurately measure these before, right? So you'd want to find your pivot point, put your compass on, right? And you could take it back over to your ruler and do the reverse process. We could find, well, it is indeed 1.1 centimeters for the radius. So here, 1.1 centimeters. Then we can look at our next one. And we can extend it out to a red line. Take them over here, measure. And so, well, we got 2.1 for the red circle. And lastly, for the green circle, let's go back to our pivot point, extend it out to our green circle, and then we're going to take it over, and we can find there we're at about 3.2. Oops, and that's green, sorry. So 3.2. Notice how I drew a line from the center to the outside and then labeled it. If you don't, then they don't know if you're measuring how big the circle is, If it's diameter, the radius. So always draw a line indicating what it is. Can really help out. In science, the way that you'd see kind of a pair of compasses, you'd see an instrument known as a vernier caliper, which is not at all like a compass, but we use the same measuring techniques when we go to measure on our page. So we take vernier caliper, you take down to your ruler, measure the separation, and that can be used to find just very accurately the separation of an object. But whereas a compass deals with arcs, but we can still apply the same method and bring it down to a ruler to measure. Okay, so see you in the next video where we actually start off doing some constructions.